What if I tell you that the anger that you've been suppressing is the very thing that can change your life? That quiet rage that you've been suppressing, it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough waiting to be happen. Hey guys, it's Lamisha Faria. Welcome back to the Sweet and Savage Show and another episode of the Step Into Your Power series. Most of us have been conditioned to believe and think that anger is a bad emotion, and that comes from, of course, our childhood. Whenever you've experienced, for example, emotional neglect or abuse, what happens is the fact that your parents might have intentionally or unintentionally made you feel like certain emotions like anger are bad and you weren't allowed to express anger in a healthy way. That aspect of yourself was not seen, heard, and validated. Your boundaries were not acknowledged and respected, as well as you may have not been able to speak your truth as a child, because this is also connected to your anger. When you feel something, hey, like I'm not okay with this is not okay, this is my boundary, and a parent still forcing their child to do something or make them feel uncomfortable, the child grows up believing that this aspect of myself is not lovable, I should suppress this aspect of myself, how I feel doesn't matter, I cannot speak my truth, my boundaries doesn't matter, I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't say that, oh no, I cannot allow myself to put myself in the first place and to think about myself and what I want. A lot of people have shame when it comes to putting themselves in the first place and saying what they really want to say or thinking about themselves. And it is also tied to anger, because when I allowed myself to fully embrace that aspect of myself, which was part of my shadow self, and to integrate the anger aspect of myself and to accept it, embrace it, and acknowledge and listen to that aspect of myself, I realized, wow. All of the ways where I wasn't allowing myself to put myself in the first place. All of the ways where I was holding myself back from speaking my truth, saying what I want, and respecting my boundary. Because that comes from you putting yourself in the first place. Is you saying, this is how I feel angry about this. No, I don't want to do this. Your anger is the aspect of yourself that tells you my boundary is not being respected. This is not okay. Anger is trying to protect you and tells you when you need to stand up for yourself, when you are being mistreated, when someone has crossed your boundary over and over again. This is the aspect of yourself that tells you, I actually deserve better. I actually deserve a better raise. I actually am working more, but I'm getting paid less, and I want to talk to the manager about it, but because you're a people pleaser, keep suppressing your anger and your needs and your boundaries, you're not gonna do that. You see, that is where the power of anger comes from. Your anger is also the aspect of yourself that shows you when you are making excuses. Your anger will show you all of the ways where you haven't been honest with yourself. You keep telling yourself, oh, I'm fine, this is okay, but here you are feeling resentful. And your actions are showing that, even though your face is like, oh my gosh, no, everything is fine. No, it's not fine, sweetheart. Women who puts themselves in the first place in our society are seen as selfish. It's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. It's you respecting yourself, meeting your own emotional needs and putting yourself in the first place, and you speaking your truth and setting boundaries. That's a very good thing, and you should do that. Because when you feel angry, when you realize, oh, this is not okay, like my boundary is not being respected, like hello, my needs matter, but you're not allowing yourself to respect that aspect of yourself that is feeling this way. So guess what? You are going to be mistreated. You are going to put everyone else first and put yourself last. You are going to disrespect yourself and your boundaries and everything else. You are going to let people walk all over you and treat you like a doormat. This is what's going to happen when you don't respect anger and that aspect of yourself. So basically, we are taught to suppress, ignore our anger, and even to apologize for it. A lot of things in our society are brainwashing us to suppress that aspect of ourselves that wants to say what we want to say, that wants to stand up for ourselves, that wants to speak our truth, that wants to do the very exact same thing that people around you absolutely does not approve of. Because again, that aspect of yourself, which is anger, is connected to your needs. I want this. This is who I am. I feel this way. And if you suppress that, of course you're suppressing yourself. You are suppressing who you are. You are suppressing what you truly want. You are suppressing your desires. You are suppressing your ability to make decisions for yourself. You are suppressing your own power. You are suppressing you being self-assured. When you are holding on to that anger, that rage, you are holding on to energy. You are holding on to your ability to transform yourself and your life. You are holding yourself back from unlocking the beast inside of you that can help you move forward in your life with confidence, that can help you to finally stop all of the BS things that you are doing right now in your life to really finally move forward and to take action and full responsibility for your life. You are holding yourself back and you are suppressing your power when you're suppressing your anger. Because both of these things are connected. You are suppressing your life force, that fire inside of you that wants to move through you, flow through you into action, into words that wants to be spoken, into all of the things that you want to do, that you've been saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you've been here making excuses, yet you don't realize that unleashing your anger and integrating that aspect of yourself, accepting it, embracing it, listening to it, and working with your anger in a healthy way. It is the key to transforming yourself and your life. Anger is connected to the element of fire. And what does fire do? Fire destroys everything that it comes in contact with. And just like fire, anger is the same thing. People do this fire ritual where they write down on a piece of paper everything that they are scared of, or their fears, or their limiting beliefs, or old patterns, habits, or who they are, as in the old version of themselves that they are now letting go of and releasing. So they burn the paper, and that is like symbolic way of death and rebirth. That is like finally letting go, releasing, basically destroying all of the excuses, fears, limiting beliefs, so that they can now like step into a version of themselves that's empowered. We think of fire that way, as in just like the phoenix, death and rebirth. Whenever you feel really angry, that aspect of yourself will not lie and will tell you in all of the ways that you've been making excuses or holding yourself back. And you will feel this yourself when you learn how to work with anger in a healthy way, just like how I did. Me reclaiming my anger, me learning how to work with my anger in a healthy way, oh boy, I became unapologetic. I became ruthless, which unleashed the beast inside of me. And I have never been much more laser focused than ever before. And I've been challenging myself in ways that I couldn't challenge myself in the past. I've been saying things that my past self would have been afraid to say out loud. I've literally stepped into the most unapologetic version of myself because I reclaimed my anger, that aspect of myself, and I've learned to work with it and integrate this aspect of myself as part of who I am. When you feel that frustration, anger bubbling inside of you, that feeling of being fed up, is that aspect of your saying, enough is enough, I need to change something, I'm done with this BS, I'm done with these people, I'm done with this situation, I'm literally done with my own excuses. Basically, you come to a point where you are not going to tolerate any excuses, any BS, any of the things that you have been tolerating up until this point and saying it's okay when it's actually not. Instead of using this energy to fuel their transformation, to start their transformation when it comes to yourself and your life, a lot of people stay stuck in a job they don't like, or a situation, or even themselves. They're holding themselves back because they're not allowing themselves to feel that anger. They're making all these excuses like, oh, my parents are holding me back. These people are holding me back. Oh, because my parents will be angry. My parents will be mad if I do this, blah, blah, blah. All of these excuses that they are making, and they don't even realize the fact that they're the only one holding themselves back. Because you are not allowing yourself to embrace this aspect of yourself that tells you I want this, I deserve this, I want to do this, and I'm gonna do that. I don't give a flying F what you think about that. I don't give a flying F whatever you think about me. I don't give a flying F whether my parents will get disappointed about me or not, because I matter, how I feel matters, and what I want to do matters, and I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not here to please other people. People are holding themselves from unleashing their fullest potential, and it is connected to you suppressing your anger. People are afraid if they were to allow themselves to feel anger, the truth that they are going to realize, people don't want to hear that because they've been honestly living in a comfortable bubble where they think everything is fine when it's not, when they don't want to realize certain truths about other people or themselves and how they are holding themselves back, making all of these excuses. Some people feel resentful when they see other people doing certain things that deep down they don't give themselves the permission to do that. The places where they are holding themselves back, that emotion, resentment, is actually deep down your anger, your frustration, telling you, yo, I want to do this, but here I am making excuses and I'm not allowing myself to do that. And you can work with that in a healthy way to set yourself free. When you are suppressing your anger, you're suppressing your power to change and transform. Anger is an energy. And energy, as you know, can never be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. So basically, if anger is an energy, it is waiting to move through you, flow through you, transform you and your life. It is waiting to be transmuted. Transmutation is basically you feeling that emotion, which is anger, and channeling that into taking action, channeling that into creating beautiful works of art, channeling that when it comes to your work. For example, for me, I channel my anger when it comes to challenging my perfectionism, and it has been working very amazingly, by the way. You channeling anger when it comes to quitting bad habits and finally taking responsibility for your life and your routine and your habits. So this is what transmuting your anger looks like. Not only going to transform yourself and your life, as well as you're going to unleash the beast inside of you. Unlock your fullest potential when you will be unstoppable. Anger, that comes from you learning to accept and embrace and work with anger. Let me give an example from my own experience to demonstrate how powerful this transformation can be. So there was a situation where in the past I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make something happen within like 2 years. Recently, a situation happened that made me so angry, and I allowed myself to feel that anger. I am not going to leave that situation up in the air. I'm going to take responsibility for it. I really allowed myself to admit that to myself, that I was fed up and I was done and I want to do something about it. Guess what? I started taking responsibility for that situation. So I was like, okay, what do I need to know? What do I need to do? And I started taking mini steps. And let me tell you, it really revealed a lot of the things where I'm like, okay, I kind of am scared when it comes to this part. I kind of reflected and talked with myself about those fears and limiting beliefs, and I faced them head on and took responsibility for that. Even starting off with small steps and continuing that and taking clear steps in the direction to make this situation work out in my favor and to make this wish come true. Let me tell you, I am feeling so empowered. By the way, it's not that I was making excuses before. I just left it up in the air due to another particular situation that was kind of out of my control. Found a solution to work it in my favor. And that's what happens when you're truly fed up with something and you want to change and you want to do something. All of a sudden, you are going to find solutions. All of a sudden, opportunities will present itself where you're like, holy F, like, this is amazing, because you are now opening all of the possibilities. You're opening yourself and all of the ways where you can make something happen instead of all of the ways where you can't do something. In the past, I didn't realize the amount of preparation that I need to do for this event to work out. And now that I am taking responsibility for it, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I did this. You are holding yourself back from all of these aha moments that you might receive from you allowing yourself to feel anger and then seeing what that aspect of yourself has to say and embracing that. Now, let me share with you how I work with my anger and how you can do that as well. I know that this is what works for me and this is how I feel the best way of working through my anger. If you're feeling really angry or you are releasing suppressed anger, then what I do is basically, I scream into a pillow, and that really is so cathartic and healing. Getting all the rage inside of me out, or like taking my pillow and hitting it against the couch in a very angry way, as if I'm releasing all of my anger through that. So this is how I do that. You can also do boxing. There are a couple of other options, such as rage room. So you can do that if you have a rage room nearby where you live. Do not make a decision whenever you're feeling a very high emotion, such as anger or feeling really sad or any kind of extreme emotions. Do not make a decision while you are feeling those extreme emotions. After you have either punched your pillow or screamed into it or threw your pillow against the wall or something, or you did some boxing or some other ways where you have kind of felt and released kind of your anger, like a lot of it in a physical form. So what you're going to do right afterwards, you are still feeling that anger, you're going to take deep breaths. I'm doing this in a way where I'm not pushing the anger away, where it's like I am allowing it to be. You are still breathing into that sensation, that anger, while kind of calming yourself down at the same time a little bit. And while you're taking these deep breaths, whatever, feeling the sensation of that anger still, you're going to ask yourself the questions that I've written in the description box down below. You are going to let that aspect of yourself speak, and you are just going to listen to it. And you are going to ask that aspect of yourself, what is it that you want me to know? What is it that you are angry about? What are some things that I'm angry about, or what is that one thing that I'm angry about that I'm not allowing myself to admit to myself? What am I fed up about? What do I really want to change that I've been making excuses about? Then you're going to pay attention to what comes up, any emotion, any desire, any urge to do something, to say something, to quit something, to start doing something. So you're going to pay attention to that. Or sometimes what will happen for me is I may sometimes get images in my mind to what that aspect of myself wants me to do, or what this aspect of myself wants me to know. For me, for example, as someone who has recovered from people pleasing, when I connected to that aspect of myself, anger, that aspect of myself told me, and it felt like, and I already knew this, where I was having certain scenarios and I was feeling the urge to say what I want to say, to speak my truth, to stand up for myself more, to set a boundary and then walk away. Yeah, to basically speak my mind. People around me are not good, and I got into arguments with them. I'm talking about my family. I don't have the best relationship to them. There are advice on the internet you will hear about. Don't give them the reaction, just walk away. Don't say anything, because they feed off of that. But for me personally, what this aspect of myself made me realize is the fact that you can respond. You are still in the position of power when you respond. Maybe there's a time and a place for that. 98% of the time, you know what I started doing? I started saying exactly what I wanted to say, speaking my truth. I want to vocalize things. And what also happened is the fact that when I started doing that, all of a sudden, I'm now ruminating things in my mind because I am already speaking everything out loud that I want to say. If you honestly try to protect the peace by not saying anything or by not standing up for yourself, you have a war inside of yourself. Of course, I don't let anyone drag me into a drama, but for me personally, it's important to me, and I feel much better when I vocalize and I speak my truth and I stand up for myself. And so ever since I started doing this, I feel a lot better. I feel really good, and I never felt more empowered, more confident, more unapologetic ever since I started to do this. This is all thank you to that aspect of myself, Anger, something important that I want to mention, do not direct that anger towards yourself and tell yourself all kinds of things, because a lot of people are doing that, which is already part of self-hatred. And if you are feeling like, you know what, I'm done with my BS, I'm done with making all these excuses, cool, admit that to yourself. I'm done with this. I'm done making all these excuses. I want to take responsibility for my health, my routine, my habits. Admit that to yourself. Be honest, and that's okay. But I don't want you to talk trash to yourself. But you can admit that to yourself, that you are done with all the excuses that you are making, and now you're going to take responsibility for that. This is called embracing tough love. Start taking clear steps so that you can take responsibility for your health, your routine, your habits, your life. Practicing self-love doesn't mean that you are lying to yourself, that you are excusing yourself, and you are, engaging in bad habits. Actually, no. Self-love means being honest with yourself and saying, I am making excuses. I don't like that. Let me take responsibility for that. Because this is you doing good for yourself. The fact that you are not holding yourself back. You taking responsibility comes from a place of self-love, that I deserve a better life. I deserve to make my dreams come true. I deserve to put myself in the first place. I deserve to set boundaries. I deserve to cut these people out of my life. I want you to keep this in mind until I film a separate video in the future about how to work with the emotion anger when it comes to yourself, when you are feeling angry at yourself. This quote comes from Lisa Nichols. Forgive your past self. Your past self did the best that they could with the knowledge that they had at that time, but now that you know better, you can do better. This is something that I came up with on my self-love journey, a breakthrough, you may call it epiphany, whatever. Basically, you want to learn how to work with yourself, not against yourself. If you keep doing something, okay, why did you do it? Learn from that mistake. Okay, this is the reason why I did this and that. You know what? If an approach or a habit, or if the way that you are doing something is not working, then change it. Then look up online. Okay, why am I doing this? Why am I keep doing this? Seek support. Ask someone. Watch videos on YouTube about it. So that's how you work with yourself rather than against yourself. What actions do you want me to take? This is something that I also asked myself. When I asked myself that question to that aspect of myself, a swift answer came through me, which is that I want to post 2 videos a week. I just let that aspect of myself speak from a place of honesty, still being objective. It is what it is. I want to do this. I will do this. Now, but I didn't get to a place where I was like, oh, we need to work into the weekends and be workaholic and into hustle culture and neglect my health. Like, no, not from that place. And I was like, okay, cool. What is holding me back from doing this? And I realized all of these tiny tasks, things that I was focusing on that was taking up my time. For me, posting shorts is not a hell yes to me. And in the past, I was kind of like, yeah, cool, I liked it, but I kind of dragged myself to do it because I was like, you know what, other content creators are doing that as well. And it's also good for engagement, blah, blah, blah. But actually, that aspect of myself made me realize where I really wanted to focus on was me posting long form content on YouTube. Not shorts, long form content. That's what I really wanted to do. The thing is, anger is also connected to impatience. You want to be aware of this. So this is how that aspect of yourself can guide you. Another question that you can also ask yourself, what does this aspect of myself want me to let go of? And you may feel really angry about it already, the fact that you are a people pleaser, that you are putting everyone first and yourself last, the fact that you are not saying what's on your mind, that you are not speaking your truth, that you are not saying what you actually want to say, that you are agreeing when you really want to disagree. That aspect of yourself can also help you become aware of all the ways you are doing certain things that you don't want to do, but you're just kind of forcing yourself to do that, or dragging yourself to do that, even though it's not a hell yes, even though it's not your main priority, just like how I've mentioned, giving you example from my own experience. I literally stopped posting shorts, and it honestly saved up so much time. This is something that this aspect of myself really helped me realize, allowing myself to focus on what truly matters. For me, my main priority. You can do the same thing. I let myself acknowledge that and accept that and listen to that aspect of myself. Your anger if you give yourself the permission and you learn how to work with it in a healthy way, and you integrate that aspect of yourself instead of rejecting it or disowning it, and you accept and embrace that aspect of yourself, and you acknowledge that aspect of yourself and what it wants from you and what it wants you to do in your life, and what are the things that it wants you to stop doing, my friend, you have the potential to transform yourself and your life because of that. Because you are reclaiming this aspect of yourself and learning how to work with it in a healthy way. Just like how I have experienced this myself, from me stepping into the most unapologetic, empowered, confident, no BS type of version of myself. I want to do something, I will go after it. The energy anger is the force to be reckoned with. Wherever you channel this emotion, it has the power to transform your life, a specific aspect, or yourself. So that's it, guys, with the video. Let me know in the comments down below what was your takeaway from this video. I would really love to know that. And if you enjoyed watching this episode, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you won't miss out on another episode of the Step Into Your Power series that's going to help you become your most empowered version of yourself. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next episode of the Step Into Your Power series. Bye!